all kinds of rashes and scrapes on the wood on my shoulder. I was pretty buff then. You saw me, you would not even believe. But I refused to go back.
Captain Olusegun Jaji is a Nigerian-born entrepreneur and founder of Sea Coach Express, a leading water transport company transforming ferry services in Sierra Leone and Nigeria. After moving to the US in 1996, Jaji faced job struggles but displayed exceptional entrepreneurial grit. In 2008, he launched Sea Coach Express with one boat, personally running trips and acting as engineer to keep the boat afloat. Today, the company operates over 20 modern boats, offering 24-hour service, and runs a boat manufacturing company, creating major infrastructure impact. Beyond business, Jaji has funded scholarships, built wells, and has donated a hospital. His journey embodies determination, innovation, and a deep commitment to community development.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the JB podcast, Mr. Olusegun Jaji. Is that your full name? Do you have more other
Olusegun Jaji.
Olusegun Jaji. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Oh, Jaji, we had a sit down a couple of years back. And since then we've had to hang out a couple of times. Where do we start? Let's start with what Taye Solarin said to you. Well, tell us who is Taye Solarin and tell us what he said to you. Then we could go back to the beginning. Tell us.
Taye Solarin was the principal and founder of the school I went to. I looked up being a very stubborn kid, and we take stubborn kids to a particular school in Nigeria, Mayflower School. It's a boarding house, and then you get trained, get tamed, get shown the right way to lead. Taye Solarin is an exemplary educationist, and he was the principal there. So on our graduation, there's a popular prayer he gives everybody: "May your road be rough." And then when he said, "May your road be rough," I is Baba swearing for us, but he said, "May your road be rough." And then he explained it to us. It means you should go through struggles in life that will make you prepared to handle bigger things and succeed. I guess that's the meaning of "May your road be rough." Taye Solarin at the primary school and the secondary school. I went to the primary school, and then I got transferred to another school in the East. Yeah, my education.
And how too it was.
Well, I mean,
in terms of how your
I think the roughness was I started in primary school, and I used to hate weekends, because there's no classes, so we just roam around the compound, catching insects, and just playing around with all kinds of things. And I remember hunger used to be a major issue because it's not much to do. All you can think of is what to eat, and there's nothing to eat. So it was a very rough time. We learned a lot of agriculture, eating termites and playing with termites and animals and things like that. So rough time, but it was fun. We learned very good things.
Mom, dad, tell us a bit about it.
I grew up with my mom, my grandmother, and so it was a handful, like I said. They have been in the boarding house most of the time, so I only come home during holidays. Even from primary school, about like 7 years old, I was in the boarding house. And over there, you learn to be independent, you learn to find ways to make things work for you, you learn to survive even as a kid. So even when I finished primary school, I wanted to go to boarding house secondary school. That way I can be with friends and just find ways to get by yourself. It's something that has bred me for handling difficult situations. And that's just the life of it. My father passed by a while ago, 1986. My mom passed in 1999.
Wow.
But she did virtually everything for me to make sure I succeed. And that's why after she passed, I was in the US, I couldn't even travel when she was buried. So everything around me is named Sekira. The biggest boat here is named Sekira. So we opened a restaurant. The last time we spoke, we opened a restaurant, nightclub, and a bar and all that here. His name
I was going to ask, I was going to ask.
Sierra Lounge, and a lot of things around me and named Sierra, just for me to keep people saying that name. And
I say how folks.
yeah, that's that picture there. That's Sierra. Yeah. My last daughter is named Sierra as well. So you know.
How would you? What else can you do to immortalize that?
Well, anything I can.
Is this Sierra building?
Hopefully there will.
The
nightclub in the US, my nightclub was named Club Secure.
No, so let's pick it up. Early days, Copper. Okay, when was the first major incident? Let's start with the first very major incident.
I think
that we got here. Just crazy.
What asked me what incident can I remember that changed my life was when I was in boarding house. You know, we have when the seniors send you to go fetch water, they send you on errands. And because I was so far from home, I didn't have provisions. That means I didn't have a school father. People that were close there would have school fathers to protect them. We had no protection. So they send us to go do this, go do that. So they don't send you around, you end up staying away from the dormitory or away from the classrooms, go out in the bush or something. And I had to repeat Form 2. And you know, it was in Form 3 you start to wear trousers. So, you know, they told me I was promoted on trial. But when I got to school, you know, after traveling, you know, got to school, with all my trousers, they told me, no, you're going to repeat Form 2 because your grades were not good enough. So
you had a chance.
They cut my trousers. And all my mates were now in Form 3 wearing trousers. And that was the hardest part of my life, was being out there with those guys who were laughing at you. You know, now they can just send you around and you have to just toughen up.
So everybody who's a class above you can send you on
there. From 3 upwards, you were like a senior.
So
that anybody. Basically, you know, like some nice ones will be kind to you, but other ones will just want to make fun of you. And then, you know, before I used to stay in the bushes, and you know, but there was a particular day, you know, one guy called Akifashui. I gotta look for him. I keep saying I'm gonna look for him. He was in the dormitory one day, and they kept sending me to go to this, go to that, go to that. I said, why do you keep sending that guy? Why do you keep sending him? He's my school son now. So he told me I'll be school son. I sit beside his bed. He was a mathematics major, and he gave me assignments to do, and that's where mathematics were.
It was in senior.
It was senior, but Form 5 actually. It was Form 5. So he gave me one general maths book to go do every time I sit around the stage, touch with mathematics. Mathematics is my best subject. Like I taught mathematics at the university for graduate students, for undergraduate students, graduate students. I love mathematics.
I'm thinking of the people who are listening to this and how they hate mathematics.
Once you get mathematics is a very funny thing. It's just like carpentry. The way I understand it now, carpentry. Once you learn it, you can figure out everything. Same thing with mathematics.
So they are basic principles.
Basically, once you catch it, there's something you can always figure it out. You can always figure things out. It's a very good. I teach my kids mathematics. Just learn mathematics. The rest you can find out. That was why eventually, you know, that repeating of Form 2
was major. And then you got this school father.
And he kind of helped me and just put me on the right path before he graduated. And then I was a senior, so it was fine. You know,
you could handle yourself.
Handle everything.
Yeah, so nothing else to tell about that.
The school was just far away, you know. When I was told to repeat, I actually ran back home. So my uncle took me and gave me the biggest beating of my life. Sent me back there. So before this, buy my air ticket to fly to school and fly back. Now they told me no, I go by road. It's 12 hours on the road. And you know, in those days, it's not this nice buses we have. It's one like you know, that bus you climb from the back and you sit down facing each other, going through all the bad roads. It's a tough one, but they just suffered you.
Couple days.
Yeah, when I finished secondary school, of course, I got into university. I did my A-levels, and then I got into the University of Lagos. And I didn't have to do year one because my result was so good. You know, I had 10 points. People don't relate to that now.
They don't relate to that now.
I went straight to year 2, so I did 3 years in the university. And then after your first degree in Nigeria, you have to do 1 year as a youth service. You do your youth service for 1 year. And what they try to do is let students.
How long ago did you start in Nigeria?
It's been since the 80s actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And they're still doing it now. You know, if it's to help people from different parts of the country know something else about other people on the other side. I was from the West.
How was it funded?
The government. The government.
There's a budget specifically for that.
I believe so, yes.
Continue.
So, I was from the West, I'm from the West, so I was sent to the North. I did my youth service in Makurdi, and I got a job in the bank as a youth service guy there. And, you know, the stipend was very little, so you could just basically get by. So I did my youth service in Union Bank for a year. There, the main thing to talk about there was, you know, stipend was so small, and there was very little form of entertainment, except one little lounge where we go to hang out called Homsi. It's called Homsi. Everybody meets up there, all the girls, all the guys meet up there.
Yeah, transition.
Then one day I was sitting at Homsi because they have this table soccer, and we all line up to play. You know, it wasn't my turn yet. I was just sitting down watching the game. And next to me were some guys talking about supplying grains to oil company and how much they can make for meat and all that. For some reason, I overheard them talking about it. So I went close to them. I was talking about it. You just get an LPU like that? Yeah, because they'll give you can supply. Really? And you can actually make this money? Yes. That's interesting. So I told one of my friends, Robert Island, I told him that this is what I heard at the place there. You know, Tarakumios, they can give you LPU and you supply. He said, well, how are you going to get the money to do it? How are you going to get money to buy the maize and all that? I said, well, if you give us the LPU, we'll go look for the money. I'll go to Lagos and see whether we want to do it. So, you know, I went to Tarakumios. We got the LPU to supply, I think, 60 tons of soya beans. And, you know, it's a matter of now, how do we find the soya beans? First of all, we know when to go look for it in the market. They have marketing days of villages in the north. So we went there, identified, checked the prices. So I now went to Lagos to go try to raise the money. I must have gone to more than 10 finance companies trying to find someone to, you know, give us a loan. No wait, so I came over, so I'm trying to raise money to do this LPU. I cannot even remember how much it was now, but I can give you a rough idea. Just to say, to buy the thing was probably about maybe $25,000 back then. You know, the 2 trucks would cost about maybe $20,000 each, so that's $40,000, and we could make $60,000 when we supplied. So I went home and told my mom, I'm trying to raise this money. But all the banks are saying, you know, what's my own money inside? I don't have any money. He said, well, she has some maybe 5,000 that she can give me. I said, I'm afraid to take her money just in case anything. He said, if me, I cannot give you the money to go take a risk, why should they give you?
Why should they give you?
You know, so she gave me her money. I took it, went to put me there in the bank. The finance company. It was called Corporate Leasing and Commerce.
And you tell them this is how much this
I have some. I left it in there. This is how we, you know. He said, told me, go and domicile the LPU. I mean, go and put it into our name so that they pay to us directly, and then we can give me the money. I said, okay. This was around in the afternoon. I think about maybe the 10th day I was in Lagos. So I left that day. I didn't even go back home. I left, went to the bus station, went to the bus. And they took me to
You had a document in the bag. Where did you hold this document?
I had a briefcase. These clothes I was wearing, I went straight to the bus station, took a bus straight to Enugu.
How were you there? So you remember how you
were? I wore a yellow native, something similar to the short sleeve yellow, like a lace kind of thing. And I had a briefcase, trying to look official. So
when you traveled?
I traveled, you know, to the north. I couldn't take one bus to Makurdi Street, so I had to take one to 9th Mile. I remember getting to Onitsha that night, and Onitsha market is it's one of the biggest markets in Africa. Really.
We read about it.
But when I got to Onitsha market that day, it was probably around 11 o'clock. There was nobody at all. You know, and the driver is telling me, people are dropping on the way. There were maybe 2 or 3 of us at the end. And I said, where are you going to get down? I said, I'm trying to get to Makurdi. He said, Makurdi. You have to go to 9th Mile first. From there you can get transport to Macaulay, but you have to get down here now. I said, no, sir, let me follow you to your house. He said, no, I don't know you, why you going to follow me to my house. You know, so I had to get down at the gas station.
And Macaulay, that's what the company was. That was the
company was actually not far from Macaulay. I was having in Macaulay. It was
okay. Okay.
So I got down in the bus station and I was went to stand beside. So I didn't know where to go. I went to squat beside the petrol pump, and then later on, dogs started appearing and coming around. I climbed on the petrol pump and I just stood there. They were backing around. I was so terrified. Maybe someone would attack me or Nigeria was.
And there was nobody else there.
Absolutely, not even security
guards.
Not even security guards. I climbed on top of the petrol station, the petrol pump. I was standing there.
You had left the 5,000 with them.
No, I didn't take it with me.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You left it. Oh, you just told them you had it. Oh, you were still with your mom.
Still, I had a little money. I stayed there until morning. I just squatting.
Did you sleep?
Sleep until morning. Around 4 a.m.
Did you
the dogs are gone.
Are you aware that you actually was able to nod? And take any nap?
No, I was afraid of the dogs.
Awake you
all the whole time. I was watching them, they were backing. Every time I make a move, they make a move. So I just squatted there until almost 4 a.m. Then there was this vehicle that came, a Peugeot 404 pickup. The man was dropping mail, the newspapers in the station. And people were already coming out a little bit. I came down. I went to the man and told him, I'm trying to get to 9th Mile. He said, well, he is going to 9th Mile, but he's going to go through a lot of locations dropping mail. I said, okay, I'll just go. I'll pay him for the thing. So I got in the 404 and went drove. As soon as he moved,
you had to. I was
asleep. If he wanted to do it with me, but I'm just thinking about but I was asleep. I slept so sound. The guy took me to the bus stop in 9th Mile. And when I wanted to pay him, I said, no, it's okay. That's all you can go. So I got a vehicle from 9th Mile to work with the company. I told them I need to domicile this. They domiciled it for me. I left there, straight back to Lagos again. Traveled all the way just like I came with the child. And then I left for Lagos. The vehicle going to Lagos got to Lagos like, I don't know, like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. So I stayed there. I went to the company back in the same clothes. I don't think in the shower for like 2 days. What happened? Why are you there? I said, yeah, I told you to go domicile it. I domiciled it. I said, sit down. So he told me to go. Went to the boss to go talk to him. The guy called me. I said, he went straight to he said, how did you go? I told them, he said, that's very risky. I said, oh, look, money I have with me is running out. If I don't get this done quickly, there will be no way.
How did you begin to get? How did you know you had that fortitude and really begin to do that? It came that. Okay, it was a Mayflower.
Yeah, Mayflower. Every student of Mayflower, you can go read it. We don't do Boy Scout, Boys Brigade. We do Farming Society, Cassava Planting Society. I can sew like a tailor. We do home economics. We learn how to do virtually everything. Those are the kind of real life things they teach in Mayflower. Cutting grass. I can cut grass like a machine. Cut it from the base. You know, those kind of things.
We'll talk about how that 7th grade is building coach. So what did the bank now do?
So, you know, it wasn't the bank, it was the finance company.
Okay, finance company.
The finance company agreed to do it. Told me, well, they're going to send somebody to go with me to go buy the products and supply. Just so, of course, I brought the money to them and then we went. So, we went to the place, went to go buy. We had to buy from places. I don't carry cash. They gave me cash. You know, buy from market days. We buy from market days, put it in the warehouse until the thing is enough. Then rent a trailer, load it, and then take it to the company. We had 30 tons of maize, 30 tons of soya beans. Maize, unfortunately, once rain falls on maize in the bag, it germinates in less than maybe 7-8 hours. So we're praying that the rain will not fall. We loaded it. I sat inside the trailer with the driver because I was just scared. You know, there's always steel bags on the road. Till we got to the place. Unfortunately, we got to the factory late. And it was, you know, factory closed. They don't accept any trailers after 6 p.m. So we parked the trailers outside. Of course, I decided to stay on the trailer just so nobody steal any bag. And then the rain started. outside the truck. I sat down. It was drizzling, not heavy rain. It was soaking the thing. We got materials we could use to spread on it, but it only covers so much. But that morning, when the people were going in, I was talking to the guy and said, maybe water don't speak. Say, water's falling on it. And they're going to reject some of it. Talk to these guys that are looting. Maybe they will help you just offload it into the silo. You can dry up. So when I was talking to the guy, I said, listen, I followed them. I changed my clothes and followed the guys to go where they're going to offload it. When they put the bag, they just cut it. There's an inspector on the side who will look. Cut it, they just pour it into the silo. So I followed the guys inside, dressed like one of the guys. I told the guy this, I'll give you guys something. If they reject this thing, I'm done. It's still, rain fell in this morning, so it won't be too bad. So we got them in there and we're offloading the thing. Those boys you see carrying bags of rice and this thing, never ever underestimate their strength. Those boys are strong. I was pretty big, thinking I could carry the bag of. When they put one bag on my back, I thought my spinal cord on the and these small boys are carrying the thing just like that. Anyway.
You finish that business.
We're able to pour.
You get the money.
Pour the thing.
How much you get?
The rain that fell made it actually heavier. So the profit was a lot more than it should have been. Providence, I guess. Because when we offloaded the thing, nobody was expecting maybe, we're not working with 29 tons, but I probably got 34 tons because of the rain. I fell on the thing. And they gave us a check, they're going to pay us. I took it to the people and gave it to them. We were so impressed because they're in Lagos. I was in the north. They're so happy they took their money. I took my mom's money back to give her. Okay,
that was your first
deal. That's my first deal I ever did.
Now, there's so much to tell about your story. How did you get to leave Lagos to go to the United States? What happened? How did you get to
Lagos? When I finished my youth service, I did my master's in finance. Mainly because one of my very best friends, like my brother really, was going to do a master's. I said, let's do it. Then do the best to do it now. So we decided to do the master's and we did it. And I remember when we were finishing school, my mind was always on trading, buying and selling and things like that. Not office work.
Not office work.
So I remember we did interviews with attendants in bed. I came to the school and I got selected, but I didn't go. My friends went and, Anyway, I got a job with the company that financed my first deal as the assistant commerce trading manager.
Yeah.
So the company said commerce.
Okay.
Yeah, so I worked with them for like 3 years. 3 years, and then we had a little problem. We imported some fish from Lungi, and there was a coup when we were offloading the frozen fish.
Mm-hmm.
They had offloaded most of the fish into the truck, so we cannot put it back on the ship.
Yeah.
And there's a coup, the port is locked. So basically, the trucks had to run to the fuel was out, and the fish in there frozen for some time, and then started to thaw, and then lost quite some money. I couldn't just leave down. I resigned shortly after that. I stayed in my room most of the time, just smoking with my friend, cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want to bring it. I never experienced feeling like that before. I was there until, my friend, my girlfriend then, I wanted to just go do something else, go abroad or something. America never crossed my mind, Then I, packed up, like, girlfriend and she got pregnant, so I almost like that. It was hardly baby,
Mm-hmm.
So I left America, 1996.
And you did 3 major stuff in America. 3 major kinds of businesses.
Yes.
Let's run through them quickly.
Okay. Well, first job I got in America was as a parking attendant. Parking cars. The green don't count over there.
Yeah. You want to keep the...
So, I was a parking attendant, and from parking attending, one of my supervisors that I got to meet was this Liberian. His name is Eric Kromer. Eric one day brought a beautiful car to work, and I'm like, just bought it here, just bought it. So when did you buy it? To go to where he bought the car. It was a junkyard far away, King of Prussia. If you know Philadelphia, King of Prussia. So he took me there and I saw a lot of cars there, cheap cars. So I bought one. I said $200, $300. Cars that were pretty good. So I bought one and took it back. But next weekend I went back there and had to buy some more. So I got all my tips, I buy the car. So I hired some guys there. They can buff the car with the buffer. They buff it, the colors will come back out, we'll service it, wash the engine, change the radio, change the seat cover. And by the time I finish the car, it's like they're brand new. So when I take it to Freetown, to Philadelphia, I can sell it. So car that I buy like 500, spend another 500 on it, I could sell it for like 3,500. So the guys don't have enough money. Give me 2,000 now. I'll put you in my book. Every week, you pay us every week. Every week you pay $100. No problem. If the car problem, bring it back, I'll take it. I'll change it back for you, no problem. I already made more than 4 times the deposit. Not to talk of but the main thing that happened, so I sold cars, my own cars, used old cars. As parking attendant, I became general manager of the company. To become general manager, my boss there, his name is Richard Segai. I skipped this story. First of all, when I was parking attendant, I joined the company and I was working. There was a July 4th holiday. On the July 4th holiday, people go to watch fireworks. And I went there the first time. There were so many cars in the parking lot, and my supervisors were just confused. So I took over the key box, and I was telling them, unknowing to me, I didn't mean to be rude, but I tell you, no, you park that car, sir. I will move the keys. I was kind of arranging the whole thing. Even when the owner of the company came and saw us, he was like, why are you letting who is this guy? Why are you letting him handle the keys? He said, no, sir, he's handling the keys where I was directing everybody. When I park the car there, we're all moving cars, all the red cars on this side, Toyota on this side, and one day I was working at Holiday. It was a 6-story garage. And we take the cars for customers and take it off the stairs and pack it. And then we run down the stairs and put the key to the cashier. And when the owner comes, they go to the cashier to collect the key. And then, we collect the key, go to the cashier, pay, we'll take the key, and then we'll bring the car down. It was up and down thing. And I remember that because I didn't have papers. I was using my sister's papers. When I got the job, they had asked me, my driver's license. I told them I lost it. But I have a copy of a social security card, which happened to be my sister's social security card. So people call me Abiola. So people say call me Abiola now. You have your sister's name. They call Abiola, come move this, move there. So when I go to work, I take a towel because I'll be soaked from head to toe. I mean from head to toe. And I work I was supposed to start work at 7:30, close at 3. I always get there before 7 and I leave later than 6 sometimes. Papers. When I didn't have papers, I was afraid to get into trouble with anybody. So I'm the one that's really parking the cars. The guys like to bring the cars down. They can get a tip.
Interface, so no need
they get a tip, And so everybody will give me $5. So let's give Abiola something. But I don't get no tip. But I working all day. So the boss came one time. I didn't recognize him again. He was talking to me. Why are you doing parking cars? I said, no, don't worry. They have an arrangement. It's not a problem. He said, you've been going all this way. No problem. They were talking and everything. Why you're African? I said, yes, sir. You don't go to school. I said, your English is good. Why? I said, I have a master's degree. He said, get out of here. I said, why are you parking cars? I said, no, I like to park cars. I said, yeah, I business. Well, anyway, I was there 3 months. He used to come and we'd talk and everything. Every time he comes, everybody will rush to my side. So more people are parking cars now. When they go, everybody go and stay. I'm parking cars all day. But I was getting the tip, so I don't mind. Everybody, 8 of them will give me $5. That's $40. I had a little baby at home. My girlfriend came and had a baby, so I had to buy the food. The food was $19.99. Wow. $19.99 for 1 cup. So that $40, I already calculated these two cans at the end of the day. So at least that one is sure. For me to eat, he gets one small tip and he was okay. So that was how we were working until 3 months into that time. Well, I didn't know we had more locations. The company had more locations. I thought it was just 1 day. 3 months later, one of the cashiers of one of the locations was traveling. I think this was from Guadeloupe. His name was Carlos, I remember. So they wanted somebody else to go and be cashier over there. So the supervisor took one of his buddies over there to be cashier. So when the boss came in, he said, Just maybe I told him to take you to go cashier over there. Why did he leave Abiola? I want him to take him. Let's see who will park the cars here when he goes. Everybody pleaded for it. No way. I went to meet him. I said, sir, I'd like to stay here. You know, I'd like to stay here. I'm getting tips. I'm fine. He said, no, you're going to that place. I was so sad. Because there goes my $40 every day in the evening. Then I took me to the new place. I met the supervisor. This is Eric I was talking about, Eric Kromer. And, you know, I came, Eric told me, okay, pack the cars, everything. At the end of the first day, Eric gave me like $100. I say, Eric, let me tell you something. I'm frankly speaking, I can reverse the car from here to Kisii without turning that. I'm a superb driver. I told Eric, don't worry. This place, you don't need to park no car. I'll park all the cars for you. You say, how? I said, watch me in the morning. I came in the morning, I was ready, pumped. I started packing all the cars. Eric was sitting down most of the time. You know, about more of us, about 6 or 7 of us. Everybody packing. It's a big lot. And then Eric would give me like $100. I still get tips because I bring cars down. I check it sometimes, I have $140, $150. I was living in the house. Heaven, you're the person. I can actually save some money. Buy the food and save some money. And it was like that. Until one day when Richie, the boss, the owner of the company, came around again and said, why are you parking the cars? You should be the cashier. I said, you see this man, I don't understand why I keep following me all the place. Everything is going smooth. I said, no. You should be the cashier. Everybody else pack cars. You pack cars with them sometimes, but that is how it's supposed to be. I didn't know what was going on. Because me too, I should have thought, why was Eric giving me $100? Yeah. So we have gone, there was stuff. I was just naive.
So what was it about?
There was a game that was being played
on the parking lot. And then you got into it and you just...
And so when I got there, when I saw this, the level of the scheming was just way too much at one. And that's work. You cannot stop something like that. You can reduce it. Otherwise you can get hurt.
Yeah.
Because this is where they get all their money and all that kind of thing. And the guys that sometimes bring guns and they say, you have a gun.
You stand in the way.
That's what everybody is. The company cannot be making maybe $2,000 and we two are sharing $1,500. We're going to get paid. Everybody will take $50. And that's it. Because the tickets have to be rolled up.
Yeah. So
that was where I put my foot down on it. And everybody eventually agreed $50. But I'll resign. Because I last minute he's getting locked up and then deported back to Nigeria. My mother was dying. And he was going through this walk. You're going to be fine. No medicine, no drugs, no fraud, no nothing like that. Just walk. You're going to be okay. Yeah? Don't worry. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about saying. Don't worry. Just be fine. You'll be okay. Don't worry. You know, and that was what my sister used to get here anyway, way back then. She can cry, her mom can cry, and she's so upset, she starts to cry. She said, don't cry. And I agree. So they always know that, and that's what they used to always get me. So they say, I'm going to tell her, she must cry now.
So you manage that thing.
So anyway, that was how, the parking lot, everything reduced there. All those activities.
You're still running the cars, but you still running the cars.
No, that was before I started.
Then you got to the cars.
So when that thing happened, of course, in the office, the money just went.
And then you were wondering what happened.
Suddenly, the money the company is making, because in the hotel that I left, the productivity had gone down. When you get tired, they just take the lot is full, not full. People are going away. Before, I just keep packing. So we had gone down. Suddenly, I'm over here. The thing had gone up. So I worked there just for like a year, less than 2 years, and he came to me and said, I want you to be general manager of this company. I said, no, I can't be general manager. There's a general manager, Peter. His name is Peter Gay. Peter is a very, very nice man. I said, Peter is general manager. How can I be general manager? How can I be cashier? He said, no, I think you can be general manager of this company. I said, no. I said, no. Eventually, when he kept
pushing you took it up.
I went to his office one day. I told him I'd like to talk to him. He said, tell me, Abiola, tell me. I said, that's the reason why I came here to talk to you. My name is Abiola. My The name is Olusegun Jaji. Oh, no, what? What are you saying? You are impersonating somebody? And he has a temper. You know, I don't know.
And he lost his
temper and hit his table and just stop like, you can get arrested for that and arrested. Impossible. Before he finished speaking all this, you went and opened the door.
You went sure.
I was gone. I disappeared straight. Never to show up there.
Then you moved on to something.
No, I disappeared. To then, of course, I couldn't tell them at home. I lost my job. So I made the uniform and I go out with the I got a job as a painter before. But this one, houses.
Okay.
This one there, when I left, I got a job in Jamaican Hut. Jamaican Hut was a small restaurant. As a dish.
At some point in time, you actually painted.
Yeah, I painted.
When did you land that? Don't tell me you landed.
I saw 10,000 times, so I went there to go and paint it. I'm a painter. that was before even my packing. Before the packing.
Your painting.
So I've been home. I don't have paper. My sister said, hey, they will arrest you. So I was still home, watching Jerry Springer and Ricky Lake. I said, how long am I going to do this? If they're going to catch me, they're going to catch me. So I was there.
Let's talk about the Jamaican Hut.
Jamaican Hut. I go to a dishwasher in Jamaican Hut. When I figured, dishwasher, this small restaurant, how many dishes do you use?
Usually you have to watch.
Then you go there, $6 an hour. I got in there, started. Brother, there's plenty of plates to be washed. Oh my God. I wash plates. I wear gloves until I'm tired. I take the gloves off, my hands will be white as if I'm We wash plates in that place. So normally I'm inside. I wash the plates.
Yeah, you said somebody came in.
Yeah, servers that go to take when you finish eating, they come and take it and bring it to us. We clean it, wash it, put it in there.
You're always on the back.
So I was always in the back.
Then one day something happened.
So one day we had to close, and the server, the old smoke, was outside there smoking. I'm waiting. I have to go home, I went inside the place to go and pack the plate. People have finished eating, so I went there and clean. And who was sitting on there? It was Richard, my boss's son, my boss's daughter, and her boyfriend eating. So when I came, hello, how you doing? Can I take the plate?
And she recognized you.
Are you not Abuna? I said, yeah, how are you? He said, my dad's been looking for you.
What?
I've been looking for you. Where have you been? I said, hey, I carried the place. I took it inside the place. I put it down. I said, it's time to go. As I went down through the back door, she was standing outside talking to her parent.
Which one was that?
No, he was talking on the phone.
Come.
So I said, hold on, talk to him. So I said,
this is a long story.
So I picked up the phone and said, hello, Abiola? I said, yes, sir. He said, no problem, don't be afraid. Come, let's talk about it. I said, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. I don't want you calling police for me. I've left. I'll pay it. All the money you paid me all this while, I'll pay it all back. So I can just, he said, no, come, I'll try to help you. So the next day, I went there, go meet him. I sat in his office, he got up, locked the door. I said, look at this boy here. I will basically drink the whole thing. I'm strong like an ox. He said, I didn't want you to run away because I want to explain something to you. Tell me the truth, the whole story, and let me see how I can help you. I said, okay, well, you didn't have to lock the door. So I told him, explain everything to us. I have a master's degree too. But this is the only job I could find because I don't have papers. I'm using my sister's papers, but that is why I'm here. It's not like I'm a criminal or anything. Anywhere I've worked, you can see this, they're hitting. So what do you need to do? I say, in fact, now I have my driver's license. I have my driver's license then. And I have a social security card that says not allowed to work.
But it was in your real name.
It was my real name.
Okay.
He looked at the name, what do you call this? I said, let's call me Jaji. But most people call me Jaji. They don't call me because it was so much easier. I said, you call me Jaji. You say, well, you need to come back to work. I said, you're not going to report me or anything. Look, I have a dumb daughter. If you report me, they deport me. What is it? I said, no. It's between us now. We'll still call you Abiola. But your name on the statement is a new one now. So I can use my own. That was how I came back to Petro Parking. And I was general manager for 4.5 years for the company. And
then how did you switch to the Sierra Club? How did you set up?
Well, I was a general manager there until I resigned in 2022. No. 2002. 2002. And started my own little packing company. It was called Pack Advantage. It was the first black-owned company there. I started it and I had about close to 30 guys working there. We started, we were running. How did I switch into something else?
Yes, the Sierra Club, and then tomorrow. I want us to come to Sierra Leone because we still have the Sierra Leone lap of this story.
I got a manager. I hired a manager. His name is Charles Diaso. Fantastic
for your packing company.
Fantastic guy. With Charles there, I realized I didn't have to be there. He handled it just like I was for people. He was for me. So that allowed me so much free time. And Eric Cromer, I didn't say about him.
Mm-hmm.
He had bought a house one time and he told me he bought a house. I said, Eric, how can you buy a house? You can afford it. He said, my brother, to buy a house is 5% down.
You only need to have 5%
down, and then the finance the rest of the paying mortgage. That was how
you got into that.
I got into housing. So I bought a couple of houses, we paid, living in one, sold some, and rented out, and then until I stumbled into a warehouse that was abandoned. And I was looking, I buy this warehouse, I can build it into something and put Sekira on it. And that was how that happened. We bought that warehouse in 2004. I did real estate. I waited one position there. While doing real estate, there was a gentleman called John Bennett who happened to become my partner later that I went to meet to lease a parking lot. And he said, well, I cannot lease it to you because the person there has been there since a long time. But the money you are offering for it, I think I offer 16,000 a month. He said, but they're paying me 9,000. I'm going to tell them to match that 16,000. And I'm sure they cannot match it because we're telling me to reduce it. If they don't match it, I'll tell them somebody has offered 16,000. And I'm going to take it. I said, they'll match it. He said, how are you so sure? I said, I've done the calculation. I don't miss.
You're making enough to do that.
Okay, give me 1 week. Come back in a week. And then we'll see. Let's let you know. I'm almost 100% sure they will not agree to the new price. When I came back, a week later, I was sure they were going to raise it because I know how much money they're making. So he came, I got to the thing, they could see me from his office and told him to let me in. I went upstairs, he went to sit down. Have I had lunch? I said, yeah, I had lunch. I came to find out what he said, let me offer you something to drink first. Because he just made me $7,000 more every month. Guess what? They agreed. How do you know they agreed? I said, we did the calculation. I'm a parking expert now because from all the time I worked in the parking lot.
You got your mathematics working.
Yeah, I know. I calculated the whole thing. That was how John and I became friends. And John told me, well, I have a place that I've not seen in a long, long time. I don't even know if it's still there. Take the address, go check it.
That's the warehouse, yes.
No. So I went to check the place. People had taken over the place. Of course, I went there, changed the system, put an automatic gate there, put monthly parking there, got everybody to sign up. And then I took the money to him. I said, look, we have 18 people now paying $100 a month to park there. I'll put an automatic system. And this is how much money it costs. I've taken it from the money. This is the balance money. So every month you can get $1,800 from the place. He said, yeah, this is only a lot of taxes. I said, well, we can use to pay the taxes. He said, no. You give me $800. You take $1,000 every month. And make sure the place is fine. I said, okay, no problem. I'll get insurance on it just in case. I said, he was amazed about money for him and everything. So I kept going to India. We see any parking lot. He said, no, my friend that's retired is going to Florida now. He has a couple of houses. He does Section 8. And he's no longer interested. He owes me money. He's willing to give up some of those houses. So you say you do real estate. I said, yes, give me the houses. So he collected the houses as payment for his loan and then gave it to me to repair. And I remember one big one that he bought. There's a guy working here now. His name is Taki. We've been working together since 1999. So when I came here, he's here, he's my brother, he's outside, he's obviously next to mine there. Anyway, Taki and I, we started working on that house. You know, Section 8 houses are houses where the government paying for people that don't have whatever. Oh, that house is messy. They killed cockroaches more than drums.
Oh
my God, rats and everything. I don't Taki don't worry, they're going to clean it. We got them the whole house and we rebuilt the house with some contractors of course. And we sold it. The house made about $130,000.
I could just look around, see coach and everything is done there and see how much of the work that you have done in the years and
anyway, we bought the warehouse for Sekira and we started doing the work on it. I used to just go there, hire contractors to do. I do clean up, but I don't know much about carpentry or
so these guys will do it.
Getting contractors to do it. But in Sekira, we had so much problem.
Sekira is the warehouse.
No, Sekira was the warehouse that I bought.
Okay, so
turned into Sekira.
So that's Sekira, because that's why we're going to the transition. But you've been watching the Jerry podcast, engrossed into this. There's something you're hearing, and I'm sure that is life changing. Stay with us.
This is the JB Show, and it's your life by design.
Now, so let's build the bridge now to Sekira and the.
Okay. Once we bought the building, we started the work. We realized there was a lot more work than expected, and so the contractors, being contractors, if you're not there, sometimes it's sometimes a problem. Mm-hmm. And we had a general contractor. His name was called Clinton. Clinton was Jamaican, but he knew how to do everything, plumbing, electrical. It was much cheaper to do it that way, and so Clinton was working with us. We were his go-for. A go-for at the site is go for this, go for that. Mm-hmm. So, just so that the carpenter don't come down to him and things like that.
Yeah.
So we're there with him most of the time, watching them do what they do. But dealing with Clinton was pretty hard. And everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. One day, Clinton quit because I was being too hard on him to complete certain things. We had to go beg him and all that. Of course, he increased the money and said all kinds of things. So he came back to work and we're working. But then he quit again after maybe 2 months into the work and all that. 2 months
after the 7.
When the thing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I told Taki, no, we're not going to call Clinton again. I've been watching them do this thing every day.
I think I can do this.
I can manage it. If I can't manage it, then let it just... I'm not going to go beg this man again. And that's how we just took... Taki and I, believe it or not, I had never been a carpenter one day, but I've been watching everything, and we started doing it, and within 1 or 2 days, it just, boom, I became a super carpenter. All these jetties, I build them myself. I go in the water myself to build these jetties here. I can figure it out.
And you can swim?
I can very, very well.
When did you learn to swim? In Sierra Leone, was it? Not your sea coach life?
No. It
before?
I was in secondary school.
Okay, in Nigeria, that's
Nigeria, yeah.
Okay.
Swimming the stream and all those kind of things.
So you took up carpenter business?
So that was how we started doing the thing, and we ended up finishing the place. In fact, I realized I could lay tiles, I can paint, I can drop ceiling, I can fix it. But and we started doing it naturally. Plumbing, I can do it. Taki and I. And we had some other people now. When Clinton came to visit one time,
and he saw
that was working. He said, that man, I need to do that judge is doing
it. The judge is doing everything.
Yes. In fact, I remember one particular night, I was so sad and I could not just go home. I decided to stay there overnight. Taki closed and he went home. I stayed there overnight. And when Taki came in the morning, I had fixed all of the wall in the downstairs. That building was about 95 feet by 60 feet. I put all of the wall in the whole building in overnight, one night. It's gypsum board.
Yeah.
I put everything by myself. You have the thing to carry it. You rent it from Home Depot. I fixed everything by myself. You have the belt on you with the screws in it and a drill. I fixed the whole thing in one night. When Taki came, he said, Clinton came back. I said, no, I did it. He said, get out of here. I said, I did it. Ask it. Taki is here. And from then, he too just kind of, we never looked back. We finished that place. 2 of us and a couple of other guys. And, You know, and that was how I became,
Then the club. That's
yeah,
how you
so
roll it out.
downstairs became the club, and of course upstairs was the banquet hall and the event center, and we're running that along with we're buying houses now and fixing it. Once I knew how to do that, now I was fixing it myself. I didn't have to hire a contractor except for maybe electrical. I would run all the wires. They would just come and connect because you need a license to do all that, and we continued doing it, and virtually building real estate became. I was just interviewed a month ago by some journalists from Wall Street. They came here because they said in the city of Philadelphia, Africans that had more houses. There's one family called the Okoyes. They have 40 houses. And the next person was Olusegun Jaji.
So they wanted to see
29 houses. So they said they've been reading and they wanted to follow up to see why.
You still have those houses? The houses there?
No, of course not.
I
gave up most of the things. When I came to Sierra Leone, I gave up a lot of things. To come here, I had to sell houses at ridiculous prices.
Can you fly a plane?
No,
I'm trying to just find out those things you can't do. Can you drive one of the boats?
Of course, absolutely. Driving the boat is easy. You can drive a boat.
Drive the boat.
Yeah, that's easy. That's easy.
All right. So tell us about how you got the connection to come to Sierra Leone.
Sekira had started, and I remember then in 2006 I won the Minority Business Award for my investments in real estate in the city of Philadelphia. You can see the award.
I saw the
outside.
citation.
Yeah,
I saw the citation.
Yeah. So we got to meet the mayor, and we talked to the mayor, and got to tell him, look, Africans, we need a lot of things and stuff like that. I said, listen, they will never take you serious unless you become a voting bloc. Your voices can be heard. So that was how I said, listen, if you do Africans alone, it was always whatever. So let's make it African and Caribbean. So they had the African and Caribbean Business Council that they told us to form. So we had people in the Caribbean, people in Africa. And one of the people in that team that they told us to be the founders, to write the constitution and all that, was a Sierra Leonean. He's so rest in peace now. His name is Saliu. They call him Spako. Spako was the Sierra Leonean that was there. My club was not open then, although we had finished building it. I was waiting for my mother's birthday to open it. So it was just there. Only Taki and I go there, we play music, we dance, and just sit around and drink, whatever. But all the meetings of African and Caribbean Business Council, we held there. Yeah. So when Bedewa was looking for a place to do his event, Taku came and told me, I said, no, we're not open yet. We're waiting for my mother's birthday and all that. And, the club is open, but the banquet hall wasn't open. And he got Bedewa to call me. I still remember the call when he called me and told me, hello, my son, I got your number from, whatever, I'm the vice president of Sierra Leone. Stop playing.
Vice president of Sierra Leone. Stop
playing, man.
Stop wild joke.
Later I got to know it was actually him and everything. And it's a shock to me. I never spoke to the commissioner, not talk of a
vice president of a nation.
So of course, out of courtesy, I said, okay. And that was the very first event they had in Sekira, the conference center. And it was a well-attended event, more than an overcapacity really in the place, So on the way out, because everywhere was blocked, we had to take him through the secret door, down to the club and out. So when they called me to thank me, because I didn't charge them. When I was going downstairs, we went through the club, he said, are you the manager or the owner of this place? I said, I'm the owner. You own this place? Spako was telling me about you and everything. Let's sit down. So we sat down with Spako. And he said, I want you to come to Sierra Leone. We want people like you to come so you can start something and, whatever like that. And, Africans should come back. I said, well, yeah, I don't know anybody there. They said, come, you'll be my guest. So he took my number, of course, from Spako and wherever I left. They called me from New York about 2 or 3 days later. And, I spoke with them and they told us to come, went to New York. My friend and I, Tony and I went there and they invited us. They said we'll be hosted by J.D. Rogers, who was the bank governor. Yes, and, everything was, So we went to the city of Philadelphia and told them to put a team together because I didn't know what to come and do here. I had to come and build a nightclub or something. I didn't just come out. I was very excited because I had not been in Africa since I left. I had not been in Nigeria or anywhere. So the group of 7 people, the only Sierra Leonean that came was Dr. John Sandy. came, and they had people like Brian Martini who wanted to do WiMAX. Wi-Fi was not popular like that. Wanted to do WiMAX. Francis Nguyen, a Vietnamese American, wanted to do Wi-Fi through electric lines. We had OG wanted to do a building material factory. We had Azuka, Dr. Azuka, who wanted to do waste to energy. Waste to energy was burning trash too. So we had people in the team, and we all came here. You know, of course.
What did you have in your mind to do? Not the nightclub.
I don't know. I'll come and
you just
come on, yeah, just whatever, you know.
Your colleagues knew what they were coming to do, not you.
I didn't have anything in mind.
Okay, really, come, let's go. Yeah, so
maybe a nightclub or
something. Where did you? So where you landed at Lungi?
Well, we landed at Lungi, and then we had to take the helicopter.
The helicopter.
The airport is not like that. It wasn't like this then.
Yeah,
it was rowdy. It was like we landed there, so you know, the rowdy was hot. It was humid. We got on the helicopter, and the window was open. I remember telling the
helicopter.
Yeah, and the guy said, "Window is open." The window is open. Window is open. No worry.
Yeah, don't worry. That's.
All our bags were brought. We're sitting down. Everybody's like this. You see,
over the water.
And then we flew all the way and landed by that Aberdeen Women's Center.
Yeah.
You know, we landed on the helicopter. That was my first time in the helicopter, but man, I was scared shitless. So most of our guys were like, listen, we're not going with the helicopter again. We'll go
through the ferry
or something. So we came, well hosted, you know, went around and all that. While I was there, before I came, there was a guy called Paul. Paul told me I could meet some of his friends here and all that, because I didn't know anybody here. So I met some of his friends here, and, you know, became friends. And then when we were going back, we went by the ferry, you know, and the ferry was pretty rowdy.
How long did you stay in Sierra Leone at that point?
6 days.
6 days?
Yeah, I stayed in room 202 in Sierra Lighthouse.
Sierra Lighthouse,
yeah.
room 202.
Yeah, room 202.
We're smiling now because what's your relationship with Sierra Lighthouse now?
I bought it. I bought the hotel.
Room 202.
Room 202 Sierra Lighthouse.
Okay, the ferry back.
So the ferry was pretty rowdy, you know. A lot of people were there, you know, people that helped us carry our bags.
Did you, at that point in time, had you figured out what you're going to be doing?
No. We're just going back. Nothing.
You hadn't figured out anything?
Nothing at all.
Okay,
Nothing at all.
Go.
So we went, and then there was a follow-up visit where a few of us, I think it was about 3 of us came again to follow up on the waste to energy. And John Benjamin was the Minister of Finance at the time. And they told us they cannot sign the country to do anything now because the election is coming up. If they win, it's something they would like to listen to, but if they don't, that, you know, it'll be someone else.
Yeah.
Which was fair. You know, so. But when we were coming the second time, we had to use the hovercraft. We started to use the hovercraft. And the hovercraft got about 90-something passengers, I don't know. But we were more than capacity. It was 80 people it could carry. So we had to wait for the second batch. So we sat down there, you know, on the beach there waiting. The hovercraft came 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm like, what's going on? He said, sorry, the hovercraft have to come with passengers going on BMI. You know, you can't just come back empty. We waited. 4 hours later, he arrived. So we were trying to get on the hovercraft to go back. He said, no, sorry, the plane has landed. We have to wait for the passengers to come before. 5 hours and a half. Is while waiting there, I'm looking like, there's got to be a better way to do this. That was the first time I actually thought about boats.
Ever.
To do this kind of thing, you know? And so when I came back, when we got here, I was thinking about it. Why not using boats? Why such a big craft that would take 30 people, 20 people, 5 people, 10 people? Then when we're going, we use the boat. We have to rent a boat. We rent a boat from Aqua here, and they take you there, and they carry you from the boat.
Yeah, to put
carry you out. Yeah, and you know, my friend's shoe fell off, and he got in the water, and the shoe was squishing water all the way to Philadelphia. You know?
Oh my God!
But when I got back, my mind was all consumed by Sierra Leone. I was in love with this place.
Wow.
Like I sleep, I wake up, I think about the place and boats and boats and boats. I started thinking of, you know, where do you get boats? I didn't realize boats were that expensive. But when I look, even the small ones that are so expensive and all that. And the good thing that time was, you know, I was pretty, you know, doing well in real estate. I could easily get money. But if you check, in 2008, there was a financial problem in the US.
Yeah, big.
Mortgage problem.
Yeah.
Before I could walk into a bank and refinance a house and get money and do something, whatever. But then to even refinance anything became a problem. Even the banks were in trouble.
Yeah.
It was so hard raising the money. I was selling houses for next to nothing, just to take out 30,000 from here, 100,000 from there, to put it together to be able to come here. You know, my parking lot was still going on. The club was still going on. But I said, Jaji, what are you going to do there? What that? Where you call it? Sierra Leone? Something wrong with you, man? Really, the club was doing so well that, you know, I could just stay and just relax. You know, on the street where the club was, I owned the whole street except 2 houses. You know, in Philadelphia, 57th, and Baltimore, off 57th Street. But why are you going to go to Africa? I'm like, man, I have to go to that place. I'm leaving. I'm going there. And, you know, I came back one more time. We came when IBM was trying to open a call center here. And, you know, I happened to have been in my friend's office when we were talking about it, and we came to come and do a feasibility study. And I was telling them, they're going to take it to Ghana. I was telling them, listen, Sierra Leoneans, you can do it in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leoneans don't have an accent. Ghanaians have a strong accent. Nigerians have a strong accent. But Sierra Leoneans don't have much of an accent. They can easily train it out of them, you know. So we came to come and check. We stayed in Bintumani. We're going to check for security, check for the crude way. The white guy walk, I follow him to just see. People were greeting us instead of attacking us and things like that, because they have a different notion. Sierra Leone is a very small country, and most people don't know much about it. You know, so we came and they did it was pretty good. The only bad thing was the minister gave us a letter with about 3 lines of our old visit to come open a call center. It was 3-line letter he gave us, you know. And the guy took it, went there, of course, so they killed it. These people are not ready, they're not serious. This guy does not understand the importance of having something like that. Yeah. You know, these are things that they do in India and all of these other countries they can easily do here. But anyway, it didn't work out, but it gave me a chance to come here again. We got a chance to meet my supposed friends and talk about boats and things like that. I will not talk about them. Because, you know, I ran into all kinds of...
So, you know, you started first.
So I went to the US, I spoke with my friend John, and we worked out how much money we would need to do the thing. And it was supposed to be 75% in capital, 25% in sweat, because a lot of work has to be done.
To get this off the ground.
And, you know, when I eventually, I put about $450, he gave me a loan of $250,000. I remember then when I went to him and told him, you know, I need this money to go. And of course, he always talks to his investment lawyers and everything. And he told me, first of all, this guy, you say he's Nigerian? That's one. He's going to do boats that you don't know nothing about. And he's going to do it in Africa. You don't need me to tell you not to do it. This is
you should know.
You should not even go close to it. And so he came and he told me, I said, John, well, you know me. I've held your money before, and you didn't even know that. You know,
this is John Bennett.
John Bennett.
Okay, cool.
And you know, I told him, say, if you don't help me,
is he still involved?
Well, it's a friend now. He's a friend. Partner somewhat. So John told me I will give you the $250,000. I collateralized it with a piece of land and whatever, but. For him to even agree to do that, it was like
doesn't make sense.
On which we worked out how we get equity and then later paying whatever. So anyway, I found the boats in China. I went and bought the boats in China. I brought them here, 6 boats, small boats. But next thing was the jetty. To get the jetty, to get someone to come here and build the jetty was a problem. So I was attending boat shows and going to the jetty section to see somebody.
To see how they're built.
No, to talk to somebody I can bring here to build. One of the guys that I saw, his name is Dan Kellerman, a very good friend now. And I went to tell him, you could come and build the jetty for me here. He said, no, that will cost you too much. You know, I don't know how long it would take. If he says a month, you know, maybe it goes to 2 months, I'm going to get paid, I have bills here and everything. He's talking $15,000, $20,000 a month. At the time you take that one, how much is
how much you left for the boat? How much is
money? Well, I was thinking, he says, well, it's not hard to build. It's not hard to build. I said, well, you can teach me. He said, yeah, I can teach you. I said, you don't have any skills? I said, yeah, I try as a carpenter. He told me to come to, he had a contract in Barnegat, New Jersey. And I'm in Philadelphia.
To build the jetty.
They're building bulkhead and something similar to jetties over there. So
and
when
he said
he
you could go.
I could come, I can teach me, I'll come and learn. I used to drive 2 hours to Barnegat in the morning and drive 2 hours back in the evening to go work with these Mexicans. They have a big barge and an excavator on it.
So they showed us how they
So they're building there. Of course, I go there, park my car, change into my boots and work with these guys. And he likes to talk because I ask a lot of questions. How do you do this? So he took time, explained to me. We became very good friends. He explained to me how to build it and this and that. Let me understand the importance of flexibility in the jetty. You must be able to move without breaking. All kinds of different things he taught me. I gave him the dimensions of the jetty I want to build. And we calculated the wood. And I bought more than 10,000 boats and not thousands and thousands.
So you bought all of those and shipped them out in those areas? 4 containers
of wood, bolts and nuts, all the equipment that I needed. I burnt all my credit cards, everything I could lay my hands on. Mortgaged my house, everything, all over again, everything. I bought all the things and I came here. And of course, when I wanted to build the jetty, my plan was to build it at Government Wharf and in Tagreen. But Mr. Lokule was the executive director of SLME. He said, listen, if you build it here, everybody must use it because it's a government facility. You can't have it to yourself. I said, well, they have to pay me something for it because that's my competitive advantage that I've learned to build this thing here. You know, he said, how much will they pay? Will I be the one to decide? I said, no, you can't decide that. Well, I said, when we talk, I said, listen, people have come here before you and said they will build this and build that. They have not built anything. Don't waste my time with all this cost and everything. If you can do it, do it. And then we'll talk later. That got me very worried, you know, because what if you don't talk later? I remember in Government Wharf, I told him, sir, you see how the feces is pumping into this water at the time, before they put the cable to take it out? Right there, I said, I'm going to go in that water. But before I go in there, give me some assurances, you know. But he wasn't ready to do any of that. That was why I'm like, you know what? You got to find another place.
How did you come to find this?
At the time, I was staying in Bintumani. So we used to drive over here. I would look in the water. I'm like, there's water here. The sea gets here. There was no road here because it was all bush and there was a refuse dump. Big refuse dump here. Big one. You know, so I came down, walked through the bushes and passed and came down.
So you got to the water.
There was a cotton tree here. I saw the water. I saw a small house.
And you said this building is actually right where the cotton
tree was.
It's administrative building.
Yes, right here. But, you know, I came here. Under the cotton tree, there were more than 14, 15 guys. They're just smoking weed. Plenty of them just smoking. I walked down there and I stood there. I'm watching the water. I'm trying to figure out how we can put something here, you know. So a couple of days I used to come here and just sit down and figure it out. Okay, if you put a road, cars can come and drop people and, you know, whatever. And that was how, you know, we looked at the place. And I said, okay, maybe I'll put the jetty here. We wrote the letter, took it to Ministry of Lands. And the Minister of Lands then, his name is Benjamin Davis. I'll never forget. And Mr. Davis, perhaps you see this. Thank you very much.
I wonder if it was O.C. Benji. I know it was a military. Military guy?
Yeah, it was a seaman. Yeah.
O.C. Benji.
So I went to see him and I explained to him what I wanted to do, and he asked me questions and I explained to him. He said, "You sure you can do that? How you can?" I said, "I have the wood coming already. If I'm not sure, I'm not going to." That same day, he gave the lease of this place.
Wow.
No dime, nothing. He never knew me before, never saw me before. But I spoke with him, and I guess he saw how important it was. Because I was afraid now. I didn't have a place to build the jetty. The wood is coming. Where I was going to build it is not.
And it's a special kind of wood.
It's a treated wood. It's pine.
You still have those? You still have those?
Yeah, I have.
Those are the ones you used to build the first jetty.
Yes. I still use them now, even now.
And what do you call jetty? Is the pontoons?
Okay, the jetty is 2 parts. There's a hard stand, there's a ramp, and there's a floating pontoon. So it's 3 parts really. The hard stand is a land or wherever it is building, and there's a ramp onto a floating pontoon that will rise and come on. So he gave that, and then of course,
that's how the journey started.
That's how the journey started. I came here of course, we rented a truck. In America, it's not like here. In America, here, there's big man. In America, there's no big man. I put on my boots, I come there, we're loading the trash inside here in the truck. Myself. We're loading it with the guys, we're loading the truck and we're taking to go take it.
Didn't you pause one moment to say, look, I could have been running my stuff that I'm doing in the US. Who would want to do this? It didn't occur to you one moment at any moment?
Not one day. Not one day. Same thing I did in the US, I bought houses that I go in there, repair the house, fix it up till you won't even believe. I even furnish it sometimes. I even buy a car and put on it and sell it to somebody. Move in here. You get,
I was looking at the videos. I was looking at some videos you have online in terms of how the place was. From day one. You said you were actually showing some people, but you actually captured it.
Yeah. What I was doing was like trying to explain how we'll make the road to come down here and how we can put this here and put that there, and all that.
And look at what you've done. Look at what you've done here.
It's a blessing, I guess. It's not your doing, I guess providence or something. But anyway, we cleared the refuse. We cut down some trees on this road, and there was some big blocks they put, this big concrete thing they put for us, billboards we had to remove and clear it, make the road wide enough so that cars can come, go around you can see how we brought the laterite and poured the laterite and spread it out, and then we brought the tar and the stones and we warm it up in a drum and we pour it. Most of it was done by hand, and we did it because when I came, my plan was to build in Government Wharf and Tagrin. I did not anticipate the expenses of this one. This was additional expenses, so the money was running down. And I remember going back to the US, using the little shares I still had to go ask people, "Can you give me some money?" I said, "Well, I told you," I said, just 40,000 more, let me go manage this thing, And so I came back and, we did the road. And our terminal was over there with a shed and a toilet, and all that.
I used it a couple of times.
And then, December 23rd, Pelican Water Taxi did the first trip, December 23rd, 2008.
So Pelican started over here?
Yes.
Not in Tagrin.
No, we started
here. It was
here.
over here.
We built this one. But when I was building it, the president came. He visited here, came in his shorts. Kuruma was just president then. He came to look, because the whole bridge, people were there watching.
They're watching what was happening.
Me trying to figure things out, The first jetty I would build by myself, just me now, no supervision. Where I learned to build the jetty, the water is a creek. The water goes up and goes down. But coming here now, the water goes up, it goes down, and then it goes in and it goes out. So I called Dan, we're done.
You didn't
This water is
you didn't teach me about this.
He said, yeah, I was telling you about the stringers. The stringers is what holds it with flexibility so that it can be able. So on the phone, you tell me, and then we came and modify it. We're able to build this one. It was a short jetty, but it was fair enough to use. Before the
so you got Pelican off the ground.
So we got this one.
There was some issues.
I went to Lungi. Lungi was a scary one because we couldn't find a place. We couldn't find the Mahera Beach Hotel. We could build it, but the water there rises 11 feet and goes down to dry, with no emergency rescue or anything in sight. We had to carry the wood 20 feet long, carry it on the shoulder, carry it in the water, plant it in the ground, and pump it in for it to stand. I had some.
How many feet below the ground is
it's supposed to go 8 feet. 8 feet in the ground.
That one over there. The one you're using now there.
Yes, 8 feet. 8 feet in the ground.
You brought in specialists to help you with that?
Nobody. I brought the wood. And I had all the guys.
And you say those wood were treated wood, specially treated wood, and
so that
they don't rot.
Insects won't eat it quickly. It would last a long time, very long time. So we brought it 20 feet long. So we had to come and plant it in the ground, pump it inside the ground, and then go to the next one like that with the guys. No rescue. You water carry you. You drown. So we're there.
May your road be rough. May your road be rough.
Well, it was interesting. We, did it, and the jetty wasn't even long enough, but it was okay. So we could at least start. And we started, like I said, February 23rd, Pelican Water Taxi. Unfortunately, by February, February 11th or February 10th. You know, I got into trouble with
the unpatched partners.
Yes, and you know,
then you abandoned all of those things.
Accounts were frozen. I still continued running, trying to find a solution to our impasse. Unfortunately, the boats were having. I've not run boats before. The boats were having problems. With my account frozen, I cannot send money abroad to buy anything.
Yeah.
So one by one, the boats were going down, and we just down to a few boats just going back and forth. My free time, I go to the beach sometimes just to clear my head. But one thing I must not miss was when the money was going down, I was in Bintumani Hotel first, and then I moved to Cape Sierra, which was cheaper. After Cape Sierra, I moved to this one on the beach, Chinatown Hotel, which was even cheaper. Eventually, I moved to one house on Wilkinson Road, which was a Celltel house.
You're cutting your coat according to the material.
Eventually, I moved to Lungi because you know there was no money. You know, I moved to Lungi. I was staying in Lungi. I had bought a boat from Laka. I had towed to Lungi because now we had just about maybe one boat just working. So there was no customer per se, just one, almost like the charter that they were doing before. 1 or 2, just to keep whatever. So this boat I was fixing gradually over there. I got a little facility.
And that's Homer 1.
Homer 1.
I wonder why you call it a boat, because it was just a frame.
You know.
I wouldn't even call it a boat.
Yeah. I bought it, I cleaned it, and we started doing the fiber work. I got some help from one Pa Abdullahi, you know, from Aqua. We had them resin, and we rebuilt the Homer and everything. This whole case was going on until my lawyer advised me and said, listen, let's give up the shares on the other company.
And start, and then you can have your own.
You know. So Pelican Water Taxi failed basically in June 2009. And then I started.
How did you get to call it Sea Coach? How did you call it Sea Coach?
Well, the boat looked like a coach. It looked like a train coach. It was so square. It was square and just a flat mouth and everything. Like, you know, be a coach.
How did you feel the first time you got it to actually do one trip?
First trip, I was.
Well, you actually believed it. You believed it would work.
I had lost so much weight.
You lost weight because even for the photos, even the videos that I'm seeing now, even you taking photos with the guys.
I've really gone through it, you know. This weather here, you're walking, dead animals are floating right by you, feces floating by you. You know, that's what you can't swim without drinking. You're gonna drink.
You're gonna drink some of the water.
So all kinds of rashes and scrapes on the wood of my shoulder. I was pretty buff then. You saw me, you would not even believe. But I refused to go back.
No regrets. I was thinking whether there was any point in time why you were thinking, you know, why not go back? Why not go back to the US?
How will I go back? The guy, he took 50,000, I took
250,000.
That everybody told him,
don't give,
and he gave it, then I have to go back. You know? I was sitting down here one day, there was a lady, may God rest her soul, her name is Mrs. Olusegun. She stays over there. I had seen her in America just before I came. I told her I'm going to Sierra Leone. He said, hey,
Jaji.
I said, don't worry. I'm going to fix the problem. And blah, blah, blah. You know? So that day she came here, she saw me. I was so lean. I was just sitting there and saying, what's wrong? Look at you. You're always smiling. When I came here, you're always smiling. What's wrong? I said, I don't know. What am I going to turn to here? You know, all the money that I have is in my pocket here. My banks are frozen. And there's not, you know, people are just pushing me. I don't know. I'm not going to just go like that. He said, no, I'm going to get you some help. And he directed me to Mr. Tunde Cole. Tunde Cole,
MP,
who tried to resolve the matter by calling the parties. Unfortunately, he couldn't. Then directed me to Forces consultant. That, you know, they are into registration and things like that, to see if they can help me. They directed me to, now it was Renato & Co at that time, but now it's Lambert and Partners. And that was when I went and met Patrick Lambert.
Who was going in Forces then?
Miami Faulkner.
David Faulkner.
Right. Yes. So I went to meet Mr. Lambert, a lawyer, and I told him, look, I don't have much money, but this is the money that I have. And excuse me.
Yeah.
And they agreed to take the case, and of course we were in court for a while until they told me to give up Pelican. So I gave it up, and I was able to start Sea Coach with the guys. And good things, of course, the guys, I always managed to pay them somehow, send some money from abroad. My Western Union, because you can't send through the bank because my banks were frozen. And so we started Sea Coach, July 2009, with my guys that I had in Pelican. All the Pelican boats were parked on the other side across the water there. And, we started. And I remember on every boat that I was going to Lungi, back and forth, I was always on it. Every day, every single day. We have passenger, we don't have passenger, we go across to the to Lungi, and gradually people started to believe it was possible. People started to use the boat, repeat customers. From that first boat, I started buying some more scrap boats I saw around, because I knew how to build it then. So we're rebuilding scrap boats and we're using it, and we're growing small, paying all the bills. What changed everything was one day I was in Lungi. I was kind of actually sick, but I was at the jetty, just lying down there. As soon as the boss came, the lady that got down was like, "Hey, where's the boat? That boat?" I could hear our boys just talking and started Nigerian accent and everything. So I knew I had to be on the boat, so I got up and got on the boat. Excuse me. So we got on the boat and we're coming. And she said, he's talking, "Hey, what kind of boat is this? Is this safe?" And this and that. I'm saying, "No, madam, I'm the owner of the boat. I'm the owner of the company. The boat is safe. If it's not safe, I won't be here. I got on the boat because of you, because I saw you were afraid, And then, so why don't you get better boats?" I said, "Nobody believes. We have about 2 or 3 boats at the time, some small different boats that we. Nobody believes in this thing, That's why, whatever. If you can give me a loan," and then say, she said she's the new MD of Zenith Bank.
And she was just coming in.
She's coming to renew her duty. I said, "You come on." I said, "They frozen my account. All my money is here. I brought out money." He said, "You carry this kind of money?" I said, "I also carry my knife beside me." He takes something, take the money from me. She looked at me and said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." So it was kind of intriguing to her. And when we got here, she sat down there talking with me for a while. They bring the money. It's a new company now. We register the money. They register the company for you. They register the company so we can open an account. So we opened an account with Sea Coach. It's in the bank. So I started putting money there. Putting money there helped a lot because now I could formalize things, give people paycheck rather than just cash. Buy things from check rather than just pay cash, because everything was cash. And if you don't see me,
everything was cash.
Everything was cash in my pocket. I had my police here. When I came, if you had seen me, you know that you think twice before you and that was so like that. I was able to buy some more boats. We had quite a few boats after a while. Within 2-3 months, I'm going around looking for boats, and we bought some, and we're operating. What changed the trajectory of the company was one day, it was rainy season, the water was really, really rough. So our biggest boat then was called Super Eagle, 24 passengers. And the captain called me, Captain Salu. I said, Captain, the water is really rough, really, really rough. I said, "Okay, go back and wait." So he called me, "Okay, the water seems calm now. Can he come now?" I said, "You drop some people and come with just 12. We'll go back for a second trip, instead of, So he came and said, he called me again and said, "Captain, in the middle, the water is rough." I said, "Well, you want to go back?" He said, "No, I've passed halfway." I said, "Okay, you keep coming. We're coming to meet you." So we took another boat from here, a small boat, to go and meet them on the way, just to at least show people that we were responding. That day, believe it or not, I saw under the boat, the waves were carrying the boat and slamming it and like that. People were throwing up out the window and all that. And that was when I learned a big lesson that day. There's a difference between a sea boat and a river boat. That boat was bigger.
The river boat.
Yeah, So by the time I called them, "Hey, don't send any more boats." I said, "Sorry, sir. The last boat is on the way with the other passengers, 20 passengers." When I turned around, I saw that boat coming. It's like magic, This boat here, bigger one is struggling.
And the smaller one is cutting through.
That was why I now understood. It was the design of the boat that was making the difference. Next day after the customers came, of course, we apologized, begged them, some of them give them coupons for this discount, and then I'm not using boat again, and this and that, you deal with it. 2 days later, I went to meet Madam at the bank. I said, Madam, I found the boat I want. She said, really? I said, yeah, how do you know? I said, explain everything to her. And I found where they sell it. But it's expensive. Oh. I don't know how you can help me. He said, how much do you have in the bank? I said, probably I had about 60-something thousand in the bank at the time. I've been saving,
That's dollars?
Dollars, yes.
Okay.
So, the price of the boat was 150,000. And I told her I want 2. And then we have to ship it 25,000. That's 175,000. She said, no, how are you going to do this? I said, Madam, if I buy this boat, it's better. We can carry more people. We can, this one. That's my projection. I brought it to her. I calculated everything for her.
The mathematician.
I took it to her, everything, and broke it all down. She looked at it saying, it's good, but let me tell Lagos, because it's boat. You don't have any collateral. I said, I have boats. She said, you mean scrap boat? You don't have any collateral, So when she got to discuss whatever, she came back and told me, sorry, but they won't do it because it's very risky business, it's a young business and all that. I just sat down in her office. I was like that the whole time, because I've been in my mind. I could see what can happen with the right boats, new boats, and everything. And she would come out in the evening. She saw me still there. She said, "You still here?" I said, "Madam, I will.
This is life and death.
If you let me do this and that, no." Said the only way is through overdraft. Overdraft is very expensive. I said, no problem. First of all, the people are not asking for all the money now. I give them a deposit. The money I have in the bank is 60 something. I give them 60. They start to build it. When they finish it in about 3 to 4 months is when we need to pay. I would have saved some money again. And when the boats come, we can start to run it and we start to pay. So eventually she agreed with the overdraft, and we sent the deposit. They built the boats, and the boats arrived. It was the first. People don't bring new boats.
Yeah, it was the first time you would see new boats, new boats.
Oh my goodness, so beautiful. The boats came, 20 sister boats, and we started using it, and it was doing very well. Around the time was when African Minerals was starting, and they came. I saw the guy's name was Simon. I remember, the logistics manager, and they said, they want to rent the boat. And it wasn't something I was used to. Said, how much will you pay? He said, well, it would take our staff to the mines and wait there, and then bring them back in the evening, and then we pay. Good thing I didn't say any amount. When they told me how much they're going to pay a day
to do that,
I would have shown him some Nigerian dance that I would not know. And that was how I started. They got to rent one of the boats, and we're making good margin on it. And we signed the contract for 6 months. I told them they want the 2. Take the 2. I wanted to keep one for the passengers, but take the 2. I can pay the loan faster. I went to meet Madam, the 2.
We have a 6 month contract for this. This is the revenue.
This is how much I'm making every day on it. If you can take everything, in fact, put your people here.
They can collect.
I don't want to touch the money.
Let them collect. Let them collect and take it to you.
So since that, they had the guy there collecting the money. No problem. Let me walk. Let them put it there. As long as I can get something to eat and all that,
I'm fine.
I'm okay. My guys are paid. That was how we did that. I went to Madam, I want 2 more boats. But after some convincing, I said, I told you, we can do it. You can see now. After about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, he saw that it was actually...
It was happening.
Anyway, they paid at the end of the month. 2 more boats. She agreed. So we ordered 2 more boats. When the 2 boats came, African Minerals wanted more boats again. She came out for the 2 boats. I said, no, take 1. The guy said, we're going to even pay a little bit more than I said, okay. They took the 2. Even me, I could not believe how much money we were actually making at that time. Is it possible? Now I can eat chicken, I can eat. I remember vividly one time, it was my friend in the room, and I was looking at the bulb, and tears rolling down my eyes, and he said, "Shege, what's wrong? Shege, what's wrong with you? What's wrong?" I said, "Look at the light." He said, "Yeah, the light. Now, what's wrong? It's on. What's wrong with it?" I said, "No, it's a naked bulb. There's nothing. It's just a bulb hanging on the wall." How did I find myself here? You see the club, you see my house, you see the whole thing that was, but here I am, I'm just so like, I cannot fail at this. And if you see my body, I had all kinds of croc you can find, because I'm always in the water. Because in the morning, sometimes the jetty in Lungi will cut off and flow down to Mameyongro. We'll go and push it back in the water, all your body will be aching, we'll tie it back. Sometimes when the water goes down, the jetty is so short that we have to carry the passengers from the boat, carry them to the pontoon before they go up the ramp. There's one picture of me carrying somebody on my shoulder to the boat. Anyway, long story short, we got to buy a lot more boats and all that. And even when I got arrested for some frivolous thing, two of the boats arrived. I named it Freedom and Blessing, and they got rented also. So as I was sitting there, I could easily afford to feed all the fellow people that were there, all 42 of us,
42 that were detained,
plus the police officers.
Everybody.
We were buying breakfast, lunch, dinner, and after food in the evening, we even eat suya. They go and buy suya for me. We eat suya. They brought my drum. I like to drum. I would be singing and dancing. The head of the CID at that time was Karo Kamara. That's the name of the guy. He came here. Who did they sing? He came down there. He sang with dancing. He came inside the prison with us. I was arrested on December the 20th. So Christmas Day we were there. We brought so much things to eat.
How many days did you stay there for?
10 days.
10 days.
Because they refused to release me. They said the Americans were putting too much pressure and Sierra Leone has a right to investigate fully and everything. I said, as long as you are sure I didn't do anything wrong, it's just for your investigation. Leave me here.
Leave me here.
I was there. I was there with all the guys. In fact, from there, during the day, I brought games, I brought Ludo, all kinds of things in the thing. It was fun. So that was how, the company kept growing. And I always tell the guys, marketing starts from home.
What does that mean?
We have to keep improving our service, and we become indispensable. We become the go-to people. It's not an easy thing. It's a combination of the people, the boats, the facilities, and then the most important one is the customer, which is out of our control. The only way we can control this is to keep them coming to us by improving on these three, controlling the variables you can manage. And that's how you see. Have you seen the new terminal in Lungi?
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
I had my guys from London come in and they couldn't believe it.
Yes, a fantastic one. And this one here, we're going to renovate it soon to be just as good. So now we have a local terminal, we have an international terminal. Now we have a restaurant, we have a bar, and of course we have Club Sekira in there, and it's we would
look at Club Sekira before we go on. Now you have this stuff there that says greatness happens, and my interpretation was it's effortless. Greatness happens effortlessly. That's not your interpretation. Tell me about greatness happens.
Actually, this term was coined by a young man we had hired to do marketing for us, one MA, and he came with toying around with different names and different things to use. It was always your dependable partner, your reliable partner, and things like that.
Yeah.
And he said, no, this story is greatness.
It's big and greatness happens.
Greatness happens when you work hard for it. And that was where the term greatness happens.
And you suffered.
See, coach, and
you suffered.
Well, it was laying the foundation, so
May your road be rough.
Your road be rough.
You said visionary thinking, seeing things for what they could be, seeing the finished product before it begins.
I think the ability to survive in business is first understanding you have to keep moving, because if you're stationary, everything around you is moving. Tendency is you're going back. So, and to stay ahead of things, you must always think ahead. What is going to happen? How does it? Same thing goes to being, precautions. A boat is going to Lungi. All the basic things must be there. What if there's an engine problem? First thing you do, anchor the boat so it doesn't drift away. The anchor must always be checked. If you don't, you're taking a big risk, because if that happens, you're not prepared. A fire extinguisher. There are basic things, life jackets on the boat. These are basic things. So having foresight, it's fantastic for normal life. And then it comes to business, being able to visualize things before they happen. Anticipation, it's the most important thing. And of course, the cardinal of succeeding in business is reliability. Being able to keep your word, being dependable.
So what's going to happen? We're going to round up this, and if my producer allows me, we're going to do, and also based on your time, we're going to do 10 secrets, 10 business secrets I made. This is bonus. That is bonus. So, but let's wrap this now. Now, there's lots of lessons that one can learn from your life. You know, you've done crazy stuff with Guinea, you've now expanded to Guinea. When you started telling me the story about how you got to Conakry and everything you're doing, and the other potential areas that you could now move into, not to talk about the boat factory that you currently now have in Nigeria. So you mean you do not have to import and buy boats any longer? Or are you, when do you have to buy and when do you have to make for yourself? Let's wrap up with that.
Okay. No, the kind of boats we're getting now are high-class boats. You know, it's beyond our capacity right now.
To manufacture.
The kind of boats we build are simple, tall boats that we can use. They can be used in the water for basic, operations. But the HSC boats, the high-speed ferries and class of boats we're buying now, we have to.
They're big ones. Biggest lessons for Sierra Leonean businesses as we wrap up. Entrepreneurs.
In finding the business to do, which is what most people always like, is don't look for the business to do. Look for the problems you can find a solution to. Because if the problem is still here, believe me, people need it solved. And providing the solution to that problem is the business you've been looking for. And that's just it.
So you don't look for an opportunity, you say you look for a problem to solve.
That's all. The opportunity lies in
the problem. There are
many problems here. Like I told you, the Conakry one, I was in Conakry, I had to get to Freetown.
And you struggled 10 hours.
It was a painful journey. The road was not done at the time.
Something clicked in your head.
And I'm like, the water was point to point. This is a problem I can solve with a boat. And that is what we've decided to do, and that's what we're doing now. And more people, I have a group, this morning I went to talk to a group of young people at the hotel right now. They're here from Conakry, they're doing some team building thing, about 20 of them. And when they came here and saw the beach, lovely beach, they were like, wow. And like, listen, wait until you see Toke, you see number two. They're so excited, they're doing them today, and then they're coming to the club later tonight. We're so close, and yet so far away. A lot of Sierra Leoneans are here. They have never been to Guinea. By then, they've been to London. They've been to America.
Yeah, they have.
But they've not been to Conakry, that is next door. The only way we can promote integration is if we improve the means of logistics. That makes it not only fun, but actually easy to do.
Okay. We'll close with this. I don't know how people like you happen. Whether they are made, whether they are born, and there are big questions coming up. But Jaji, it's been a fantastic time we've spent talking with you, and you're going to continue to be an inspiration to a lot of people. And what I said, we want to be able to follow up with you and just do, some maybe 10 loaded. This time we took to just cover your story, a bit of your story, so that for people who hadn't known about Sea Coach and everything you had to go through to get it here, and that would be story. But what I'd like to, whenever we're sitting down now, is to have deeper sessions, but based on business tactics and strategies. Business tactics and strategies that I've made, Jaji. That's all we have time for you today. You've had a lot, inspired to go on and fight your own journey. We believe in this show that we can shape, we can co-create, and we can design and create the circumstances that we desire in life, if you could push and push hard enough. I wouldn't like to end like Taye Solarin, like he said to Jaji, but maybe that's may your road be rough. May your road be rough. Until we return on a session, continue to create your dream life. God bless you. Thank you.
This is the JB Show, and it's your life by design.